Mm-hmm.
It states, do you want me to go over the letter, or do you want to go into this?
Yeah, like I'm ready. I'm kicking to go, man.
All right, so pretty much, Sony has acquired EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. So that's why you're here, Mark. That's why I brought you here. So I'm glad you're here. So
I do
whenever you're
play
ready,
fighting games a lot.
whenever you're
All
ready, my
right,
man.
so I I'm very much so involved in the fighting game community avidly. I love it. It's They were the first video games I ever played. The first video game I ever played in my entire life was the first Tekken.
Oh wow.
Like it's spanned my entire life. So seeing this sort of move get made was a kind of a big deal for me, and I had a whole myriad of emotions. But I kind of settled on a few core thoughts, and I think that I've been making some guesses as to what is going on sort of behind the scenes, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to feel like I'm right. Like you ever like guess something, and then all of a sudden stuff starts happening, and you start to like your guess starts to get slowly validated.
Yeah, I
You're like,
do.
Did I call this? Is this a greatest called shot in sports entertainment history?
Yes, it is.
uh,
Yeah, it is kind of called
so
shot.
uh, so when it comes down to it, man, I have this quote from uh, Tony Cannon, who is one of two twin brothers uh, uh, who also run and operate EVO and have done so for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tom and I, Tom being the other twin brother, are incredibly excited by the partnership with SIE and RTS. Both companies bring a wealth of experience and share our passion for what makes the fighting game community so great. I'd like to add both companies bring a wealth of experience, and they also bring wealth. uh, we are looking forward to working with them to launch EVO to the next level while remaining true to our roots. Those being the words of Tony Cannon, one of the two twin brothers and venerated members of the FGC. Tony also being the developer for the GGPO middleware, also called Rollback Netcode, which is kind of like the code-based infrastructure that allows for people to play online fighting games against one another. He just
Mm-hmm.
made it in his spare time. He's like, man, laggy fighting games online suck. What if
Yeah.
I fixed it? And so he fixed it. Um, and so like seeing that sort of uh, stuff attached to him also being swept up in the Sony acquisition is really interesting to me because like
Mm-hmm.
will only Sony games be able to use rollback netcode now? Like wow, if that's the case, like there's going to have to be entire restructurings as to how like, online works for every other fighting game that isn't a Sony exclusive that doesn't want to pay Sony to access it. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's really interesting to sort of think about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Sony Interactive Entertainment is like has completely bought out Evo, so it's not even like a partnership. Like they just own it, and I
Oh
think
wow.
that like for as far as like the like sort of picking up of the veritable Super Bowl of fighting games, like the grand pappy of esports. Like
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't know what a big Fortnite tournament looks like
Yeah.
if it wasn't for Evo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that this is more than just a an acquisition of one thing flat. I feel like this is a very direct response to Microsoft directly. So like you kind of covered that the Cannon Brothers will continue to remain in overseeing operations
Which is good.
for the tournament,
Which is
which
good.
is very good. Uh,
Also,
but like you know,
I just want to quickly
Yeah,
add that it has been stated that both Killer Instinct and Smash Brothers will still be part of EVO, even though Sony owns it. Those games are still part of EVO. I
yeah,
just want.
yeah, dude. The next sentence I was gonna say,
Oh, good stuff.
is will long-standing Sony exclusive, non-Sony exclusive games like Smash still make it in the tourney rotation? Yes, yes, they will. It would be stupid for Sony to say no, you can't do that.
Exactly.
Um, I'm of the belief that those looking at this purely through the lens of just, the fighting games involved are being kind of short-sighted.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is wholeheartedly just a huge balls move made in response to Microsoft purchasing Bethesda. Because it recently has started around the rumor mill that Microsoft is looking to purchase another company. And this is all rumor, so take it all with a grain of salt.
Of course.
But it's gaining a bizarre amount of traction that Microsoft is trying or interested in buying Konami.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. So, whew.
So like Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid. So like that has to spook, everyone at Sony, because it's like, whoa, this is an American company is being whispered by the internet to be interested in buying a major Japanese developer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that gives them a meaningful foothold in the gaming market in Japan, somewhere where Microsoft has consistently underperformed. Like, I believe that this acquisition is kind of twofold with Sony. I think there's a bigger play even happening past Evo. And if I can like put my spin around in my fancy chair in front of my imaginary mahogany desk and play internet executive
Uh-huh.
and tell you what I think my angles on this is. I think this is a great publicity measure,
I agree.
saving this long-standing tourney which just in the past year has suffered through a lot of really crazy stuff between scandals and investigations and just straight up COVID
Yeah.
hitting it really hard, having to go online in the face of the pandemic and not having a super spreader event with thousands upon thousands of people piling into, this giant convention center to play fighting games against one another.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Only to have a whole bunch of really damning allegations about a bunch of Smash players, a former senior member in the leadership team at Evo who lost his job because it turns out that he was doing some not great stuff,
Yeah.
and just it was a PR nightmare. Video game developing, like the publishers for major fighting games were pulling out of the tournament. They were like, we don't want our game attached to this tournament with all the stink that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for the first time, and I don't even know, I think ever, Evo was canceled. Like it was just we're not having it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was just a really bad place. Um, I was just saying that like it was kind of fine. It's kind of found itself going the way of E3, like in the early parts of like where E3 was like not quite E3 anymore. Like Evo was kind of turning into that, where it's like floating
Yeah.
glacially towards irrelevance, but just like kept alive by what it used to mean to people, like the cultural significance that it
Yeah,
used to
like the,
have.
the the branding, the name, like the name Evo very still much stands out. Just like how E3,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watch E3 because it's E3, even though like okay, I have to watch these four and then
Like,
and then
oh yeah, Forza's gonna bring a car out onto the stage that
oh
I
my
have to clap
god,
about.
exactly, it's
So
a
yeah, I
Lego
think.
car. Like oh my
Ooh.
god,
Uh,
like yeah,
so
it
I think the Sony acquisition is in no uncertain terms like a giant needle shot of adrenaline in the heart of a dying rock. Like
hmm
EVO 2021 has been scheduled. All the major players in the fighting game community, between pundits and players and competitors and shoutcasters and
hmm
analysts and all kinds of people, they're all abuzz online. And me personally, if I may say so, I finally, after all this time, sheltering at home, being safe, and protecting my loved ones from COVID by playing video games will get a chance to make players around the world hold this M. Bison.
Yeah, let's
They gonna
go!
have to hold these mix-ups,
Take
and
this.
I cannot wait.
Take this L. Let me beat you with Bison. You know what that B means for Bison? Beaten. You're dead. I win.
Bodied.
Bodied.
But Joe's decided kind of dovetails into my second point, which I think is the second function of this buyout.
Ooh,
Microsoft is.
I think I know what. Can I predict what it is? Because I think you and I have the same thought.
No,
okay,
hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me get to. You're probably right, but
go ahead.
Get to it.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
Is that if Microsoft is trying to drag publishers, is trying to drag Sony into a fight that's larger than two competing game boxes for sale, Sony is going to have to do the same thing. And they've skirted it by getting exclusive console rights to a pretty sizable fighting game. The best performing fighting game at EVO. The biggest publicity show for like any individual game or company. It's the show closer. It's the belle of the ball. It's Street Fighter.
Yeah!
I yelled about this to you in private and other friends in private, but I'm doing it on the internet now.
Let's go!
Street Fighter is a Capcom franchise, and if Sony wants to return salvo to Xbox buying the Tower of Todd Howard, then acquiring Capcom is the only possible play.
Which is correct. Which is the correct play. Hey, yo, I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. So, hey, yo, you want to go ahead and get this good old Monster Hunter? This good old Monster Hunter PlayStation.
Yo,
people
man,
buy this on PlayStation. You want to go ahead and buy this freaking Devil May Cry? Here, wait. Here we go. PS5. Bam! You buy Devil May Cry on PS5, on PS4, PlayStation. Here, you go ahead. Let's do this. Hold on. All right. I need to find this.
Yo, man, like you're getting the biggest fighting game on the planet. Street Fighter. The most iconic survival horror franchise on the planet. Resident Evil.
Oh my God.
You're getting Monster Hunter, which dips your pinky into some of that Nintendo money because Monster Hunter and Nintendo handhelds have a long-standing relationship, and Monster Hunter Rise is cleaning up on the Switch right now. Not to mention, you start creating that sort of like Japanese company solidarity that forms mirroring the competition. An American company, Microsoft, bought an American publisher, Bethesda. And so like Sony will be doing the same thing, but with a Japanese company. And with the recent shakeup, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. All I was saying is that, like, remember back in 2016, I've talked about this E3, I don't know how many times, but this is my favorite E3. You and I actually watched it together at a movie theater, which was PlayStation Experience. I lost my mind over God of War because that opened. And then next, you lost your mind over Resident Evil 7, which then this game pretty much showed how the PSVR can be implemented as a legitimate VR console. As in, you can play Resident Evil 7 top to bottom, normal game or in VR, and it's fantastic either way. Which, like...
all the way around.
Like, it's fantastic.